Hello everybody! I really hope everybody can hear me. It looks like according to the mic settings that I can. I'm just worried because I've had so many mic troubles lately. But hello everybody! Happy New Year! Happy New Year! Hi Thieves! Hi Iris! Happy New Year! And I haven't seen you guys since before Christmas too. So we could also talk about Christmas today. Or other, I don't know if everybody here celebrates Christmas, but we could talk about Christmas. My voice is really, I just woke up. I just woke up like usual. I just had to skim over the text a bit to refresh my memory. I really should be taking notes. I have to open up the, that one archive.org document, because I mentioned this last time, but I think Genji was the only one there. But I let a girl at work borrow my copy of the book, so I don't have the physical copy. I have to use the archived version. But here's the thing. I let that girl at work borrow the copy. You know what happened? She's been working there for like over a year. But then right when I let her borrow my copy of Gideon the Ninth, she gets fired. She's fired. What on earth? So, I mean, I have her phone number, but I was kind of waiting to ask her to give me my book back because she seemed kind of depressed about getting fired, so I felt like maybe it'd be rude to ask her that. Why does that happen right when I let her borrow my book? Of course, LOL, never let out something you aren't willing to lose, yeah. I just really like these books, and I wanted to make as many people as possible read them. I just kind of snorted into the mic, sorry. Yeah, so should we get started talking about the books? I also could talk about, I don't know, if I start talking about Christmas, I will get on a tangent. I just got a lot of nice things for Christmas I was excited about. And one of the things I got is a sewing machine, and because I asked for a sewing machine, but I tried to use it last night and I couldn't figure it out. I'm not very good at that, I guess. I couldn't figure out, I watched like a video on how to set it up and I still couldn't figure it out. I guess I got a special kind, like it's different than other sewing machines. So I had to find a specific video for the specific sewing machine that I got. And I still couldn't figure it out. Yeah. What did you guys get for Christmas? I don't know if I want to talk about Christmas for too long. I kind of want to make sure, because we had 2 acts to read, so I kind of want to make sure that we end up talking about them. My voice is so... I just woke up. I'm gonna drink some water. Okay, let me get to Act 2. Oh. There's not like a quick link to click all the different acts. I have to scroll through it. Okay, it's after this chapter. Okay, here we go. Act 2. Now I'm in the Act 2 on this book. Oh, Winnie's making weird noise in the background. She's going wow wow. You got underwear and socks. Mostly just money and candy. That sounds nice. I also got money and candy. And a sewing machine. The story is good, but Gideon's dialogue is still weird. Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. But I also got used to it after a while, so I don't care as much now. One thing I don't like that I don't really notice in this book that much, but I notice it more in the second book, is when the author references memes, and that kind of pisses me off. I know a lot of people who like these books, they like the memes because they're like, oh, so funny, but I'm like, no, I don't want to read memes in the fantasy sci-fi book, but, you know, I feel like there's enough things I like about these books that I can ignore it. But, I feel like by this point of the book, I feel like when I was reading the first time, I feel like I was getting more used to Gideon's personality and being less like, stop talking like you aren't in this universe. I've been getting really confused by all the names. Oh, I know, a lot of people have had that problem. Is everybody having a hard time? I actually, when I first started reading the book, I heard that people had that problem, so I purposely like tried to force myself every time a new name showed up to remember. I like purposely would like go back and reread certain parts and stuff like that, just stick the person into my brain. There's a lot of names that get mixed up in my head. I know. Who is everybody getting mixed up? I feel like the characters that are hard to remember are Silas and Column. They're the 8th Necromancer and Cavalier, but that's because when they first show up, they're like not really referred to as their name that much. They're referred to as like the uncle and the nephew, and then they're referred to by their name. I feel like that's a little bit confusing. Like, it's hard to remember that that's who those people are. Yeah. Yeah, the names are confusing. I'm trying to think if there are other characters whose names would be hard to remember. Like, get mixed up with other names or something. But, so... Also, I've read this book 3 times. But I didn't reread it for the stream, so I'm still gonna scroll through. I mean, I probably would have reread it for the stream if I had my physical copy. I don't really like reading off of screens that much. So, but I feel like since I've reread this book 3 times before we started the book club, I'll probably still be able to talk about lots of things and remember lots of things. And also, you know what, maybe it's good I didn't reread beforehand, because then I would have like probably a million things to talk about and the stream would go on forever. And like, since it's 2 acts, I was already worried, like, oh no, I'm gonna be streaming for hours and hours. Everybody's gonna be sick of it. But since I didn't reread it, I won't have as many things to point out, probably. We'll see. Chapter 9. So this one starts off with... Chapter 9 is the one where Harrow took Gideon's key ring and also gave her a note to not talk to anybody and stuff like that. I never remember the teenagers. Oh really, Jean-Marie and Isaac. Oh, Winnie's making weird noises. I don't feel like I really had trouble with them that much when I was reading, but I tried to force myself to remember everybody. I never understood why Gideon refers to them as like horrible teenagers. Just like, why are you calling them horrible? Just because they're pimply? I never got that. I never understood, why are we roasting these children? I never understood that, especially when Gideon is only 18. She's only like 3 years older than them or something. So Gideon actually follows the... I was always surprised that Gideon actually followed the vow of silence. I don't know why she did that. I guess because she is, like, concerned with her freedom and stuff like that. So she wants to, like, do everything right. I'm just sort of scrolling through the chapters and finding things to talk about. If anybody thinks of something, please put it in the chat. I feel like my voice, you can tell that I just woke up. I'm gonna try to be less tired sounding. Well, I woke up... Well, now I'm going on a tangent. Well, last night, my eye started to feel kind of weird. Like, it didn't really hurt, it just feels weird. And then I woke up and it still feels kind of weird. And it does right now. Sorry. It just feels kind of weird. And then I looked in the mirror when I woke up and like it's like turning red, like my eyelid is. I don't really know what's happening, but I can still see it. It doesn't really hurt. It just feels kind of weird, so I think it's fine. Maybe I shouldn't have told everybody about that. I don't know. Well, anyways. I should have told it. Weird in what way is it going to explode? Probably. I don't know. It just feels like, I don't know. Like, most of the time, I don't really, I don't know how to describe it. Almost like there's, like, I don't know. Most of the things I thought were interesting were in Act 3. I like the whole murder mystery stuff, and I'm getting ahead of myself. Yes, okay. I was trying to remember what happened in these acts, like how far it was. Yeah, the murder mystery. What did everybody think about that? Because that's the end of Act 2, ends with Magnus and Abigail dying. What did everybody think about that? Oh my gosh, that's also the scene when they're trying to, like, get their souls to talk to them. When Ianthe starts eating Nibirius, she just starts chewing on him. See, before I read these books, I took a personality test to find out who I was, and the personality test said that I was Ianthe. And then she was eating people, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I liked Act 3 a lot better than Act 2. Act 2 took me ages because I disliked it quite a lot. I feel like not much happened in Act 2, did it? Here, I'm still scrolling through Act 2. There was a scene where Gideon overheard the third talking, so Ianthe, Cronobeth, and Nibirius sort of like got the dynamics of the group of how Nibirius is kind of making fun of Cronobeth. Well, Ianthe, no. Ianthe was making fun of Cronobeth, and then Cronobeth is such a stupid name. But anyways, and then Nibirius makes fun of Ianthe, and then Cronobeth is like, no, she's allowed to do. Those twins they're kind of like, you know, they seem a little bit like, you know? Yeah, that's when I started getting more invested. It was intriguing before that, but I read Act 3 in one sitting. Oh, wow. Yeah, Act 3 is when things get interesting because it turns into a murder mystery and you start wondering what's going on. Act 2, I feel like, is just like sort of setting things up, isn't it? Like, Act 2 is just sort of like, let's meet everybody. That's kind of what it feels like. Oh, yeah. Gideon talks with Dulcinea, the sickly girl. And Dulcinea catches on. Dulcinea's like, you're used to a different sort, aren't you? She's starting to like catch on that Gideon is maybe not the cavalier that she says she is. The thing happened where Harrow sucked the life force out of Gideon. Oh yeah. That happened in this one. That happened in Act 3. The trial, the trial, is that what they're called? The trial where she had to sap her life source. Yeah, like when Harrow sucked Gideon. Yeah, that scene. That's what we're talking about. I want to make sure. This is in Act 3, I think, right? Where Dulcinea wanted help with that one trial because she didn't think she would be able to do it. Yeah. And, well, I'm still scrolling through the book. What I have in front of me, maybe I'll have more to say about it. That was a good scene, though. And then Harrow was naked. I guess that's not one of the more important parts of the scene. But it was important to me. I mean, I guess that part's interesting because it teaches you a little bit about soul siphoning, which is what the 8th does. That's like their main form of necromancy. The 8th is Silas and Colum, the uncle and nephew. The ones who are a little bit creepy. They do the soul siphoning. It happened at the end of Act 2, I think, right before they discovered the death of the 5th. Oh! Oh, that was a different trial. Wait, right? The end of Act 2, that's the one where Oh, now I'm worried that the other one that I just talked about wasn't in Act 3. Did I spoil something? I feel like Act 2, that's the trial. Isn't that the trial where Gideon has to go inside of the, what would you call it? Like the room that has like the construct in it, and she has to fight the construct, but then Harrow has to take control of her body to fight the construct? I think that's the one that happened at the end of Act 2, right? Or am I wrong? I'm pretty sure. Still 17, Maggie. Whoa. She's not to me. That's kind of a weird thing to say. I don't know. But maybe I'm confused now. Yeah, because like before, I think that the first trial that Harrow and Gideon do together is the one where Harrow goes, or where Gideon has to go inside of the room to fight the bone construct. And then Harrow has to, like, kind of take control of her. Which, like, it seems sort of like these trials, like, so we have, like, well, the soul siphoning one, that did happen in Act 3, right? Well, I'm not spoiling things, right? The one where they were helping Dulcinea, that was the second trial that they did together. So, like, so far, both of the trials we have sort of involved the necromancer sort of taking control of the cavalier's soul a little bit. So that's a little bit interesting, especially when that's not necessarily the type of necromancy that most people would have studied, other than, like, the 8th and the 5th are the only houses that tend to do, like, soul-related necromancy, and now the 5th is dead, so... I thought both trials happened in Act 2. Oh. I thought only the first one did, but well, I'm scrolling through the book right now, so we'll see. Okay, so right now I'm at chapter 11, just scrolling through. What happened? Chapter 11 is when the Cavaliers have a little bit of a little fun battle for fun. Oh, Act 3. Didn't Act 3 have that other fight? Am I wrong? I don't want to spoil it if it's not in there, but that's probably my favorite scene in the entire book is the fight that I think is in Act 3. But I don't want to say who's in it because I don't want to spoil in case it didn't happen in Act 3. But in Chapter 11, like, the Cavaliers have a little fight. Naberius beats Gideon. This scene I don't really have much to say about this scene. However, it is interesting that, like, Harrow was watching. She looks up and Harrow's watching. I just like, because, like, you don't really see Harrow much in Act 2, or, like, before they find her. So, like, the little moments where you see glimpses of her, it's just exciting to me. I don't know if it was exciting to everybody. Like, when I read the parts that have, like, little mentions of Harrow before Harrow becomes more important, I don't know if I was excited reading it just because I like Harrow so much and I liked her since the very beginning, or if, like, the author intended for everybody to get excited at the little mentions of Harrow. But I was excited that Harrow saw Gideon fighting. There's a big fight towards the end of Act 3. There's a big fight in Act 3, yeah. Okay, I'm pretty sure that is one of my favorite scenes in the whole book is the fight between the 2nd and the 6th. That becomes almost a fight between the 3rd and the 9th. I really love that fight. We can probably talk about it more when I scroll to that page, but I really, really like that fight. I like the line from Harrow, "Death first to vultures and scavengers." It just sounds cool. And I just like the whole dynamics. I feel like that scene is like where you can really see the more intricate dynamics between all the different houses. And I really like that scene. Also, the 2nd isn't really in the book that much, so I just kind of like actually seeing them for once. They really don't do that much. So it's cool to see them fighting. But I'm still scrolling through now. I'm scrolling through chapter 12. What happens in chapter 12? The pages aren't loading. Oh wait, here we go. Oh, chapter 12 is where we meet Palamedes and Camilla. What does everybody think of Palamedes and Camilla, the 6th house? I really like them a lot. They're some of my favorites, probably. because they're so cool. And she's so like strong and badass, and he's so like smart and big brain. I really like the 6 a lot. But they're the ones who, like, Gideon shows up, and like when she's looking for Harrow, and they're like, Harrow's down there and her blood's down there too. And Camilla and Gideon have a little bit of a fight. Six is cool. I like the healing. Me too. Yeah, they're neat. I think so too. I like the 6 a lot. I like them a lot too, also in the fighting scene that we'll talk about. But I like Palamides a lot, honestly. I like his personality a lot. I just think he's like a cool character. He's so like I don't know. He's just like so he's smart and like he's smart in like a way where it's like I don't know, he feels like a real smart person to me and not like an annoying book smart person. Like not like Sherlock from BBC Sherlock. That's what I like about him. And I just think he's cool. I don't know. I just like him. And then I like Camilla too. In this book, well, I really felt like Camilla, maybe this is gonna sound weird, but like when I was describing this book to my friend, my Regulus, you know, my friend that I became friends with who's also obsessed with Regulus, I said that Camilla to me feels like she's, this is gonna sound weird, she feels like she's Palamides' Pokemon or something. I just like how she's just like mostly quiet and just kind of does what he says. she's like really like, I don't know, what I feel like a Cavalier's kind of supposed to be, I guess, because she's like super strong and just kind of like follows his orders. Maybe that's weird. I don't know if... Oh, Arthur's here. Hi, Arthur. Maybe he heard Pokemon and he thinks that he's my Pokemon. Arthur. I don't know. He's so big now. He's like an adult cat. I'm gonna pull him in my lap, but I don't know if he's gonna be annoying. We'll see. Sometimes he just will sit in my lap and sometimes he'll be annoying. But anyways, I don't know. We'll go, Arthur. I choose you. He's in my lap now. They grow up so fast. I know. He's not even a year old yet. He was born, I think, on Easter last year, or like right around, like a couple days before or after Easter, like right in that time period. So he's not even a year old yet, and he's already so big. Like, he usually sleeps on my bed, and you know when you wake up in the middle of the night, you're kind of, like, confused. Well, at least I get confused. Well, have I talked about my sleepwalking before? I feel like I have. But, I'll wake up and I'll be really, really confused and, like, half in a dream sometimes, and I, like, forgot that he was this big now. I guess because I'm his owner, I, like, forget that he got so big, and I was, like, confused about what cat was in my bed. I was like, who is this grown adult cat in my bed? And then I was like, oh wait, that's Arthur. He's just huge now. Anyways. I don't know. I don't remember if I've talked about my sleepwalking on stream before. But whatever. That's not really the point. So they found Harrow passed out in blood. No, she passed out in a bone. They found her blood, but they found her passed out in a bone. Sorry, there's a cat in my lap. I have a little bit talked about my sleepwalking. I've just sleptwalked before. And I actually sleptwalked a couple days, or like a week ago or something. I sleepwalk a lot and think that there are people in my house and I try to talk to them. Or like I think, or sleepwalk, and I wake up and I think that like my landlord has broken into my house, and I have to like talk to. I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, I have no idea what they meant saying she passed out in a bone. I was confusing. I think that what happened was that she like made a coffin for, or like a cocoon for herself out of bones. She made like a thing out of. Oh my gosh, Arthur! He fell. He fell off of me. She made like a like a sort of thing to cover herself in bones to like restore herself, I guess. I don't know. that's the vibe I got. Is that she like created something to heal herself, like a Pokemon, like Nurse Joy. Well, no, I'm not gonna compare everybody to Pokemon. Arthur, he's sitting on top of my computer right now, and I'm kind of worried about him pressing the power button. Well, I don't think he will. Sleptwalk? LOL. I'm not sure if that's the slept walked. Did I say that? I've slept walked. Sleepwalk. Slept walk. Did I say that? I've slept walked. I guess I. I'll accept it. I can't speak sentences. But Gideon would be the Pokemon in this dynamic. I know, because she's the Cavalier. They should make an AU. That's an AU idea right there. Except for that's a little awkward, because everybody's shipping everybody with their Cavaliers. Mike? What? Cut out? Hey? Can you hear me? Oh!